Hi, my name is Gerard, and I'm recording this video in support of the It Gets Better project because I wanted to add my voice. I grew up in western rural New York. We had a barn, we had a big brick farmhouse, there were 200 acres of farmland behind our property, and on top of all that, I had a secret. When I was in 5th or 6th grade, I started to realize that I was having crushes, but it wasn't on girls, it was on other boys. And I grew up as the youngest of 6 kids in a very strong Catholic family. And the messages that I had received about homosexuality at that point actually wasn't a lot. We didn't hear a lot about homosexuality in the 70s, at least in rural western New York. But what I did know about it was I had a sense that it was somehow wrong, and it certainly wasn't something that I was willing to share with anybody. So I kept that a secret, and pretty successfully. So it's not like I got beat up in grammar school or in high school for being gay, but I did a lot of beating up in here because I did a lot of research in secret, and I really beat up on myself in my head because I didn't feel good enough, or I didn't feel right, and I didn't feel like I might please God if I were to love another man. That was the messaging that I think I discovered in the research that I did. In secret, I checked out the Bible and the encyclopedia and human sexuality books at the library, and our religion class at high school. And the things that I really heard were that it would not please God if I were homosexual. And when I was a little kid, I had actually read a book from the church library about a saint, and the saint was from France in the 1700s, and his message to everybody, he was this beautifully spiritual man, and his message to everybody was, do only those things that are pleasing to God. And that was something that I really latched onto. I have tried to shape my whole life around that. So it was a pretty big conflict to be a kid and to be having crushes on boys and thinking that that was not okay with God. So on the outside, in grammar school and high school, everything was a lot of fun. I had good friends, and I had a pretty good time. But on the inside, there was this secret that got bigger and bigger and bigger. And after high school was when that started to become too big for me. I dropped out of college, and by the time I was 23, I was so miserable and so lonely that I actually had the misperception that God would be more pleased if I took my own life than if I loved another man. So I remember visiting Ocean City, Maryland with my brother, and we were on the 11th floor of a high-rise condo, and while he was out on the beach every day enjoying the sun and the surf, I was inside watching daytime television and eating ice cream sundaes for breakfast. And I was so depressed that I started to think about jumping off the 11th floor. And again, processing everything up in my head, I was trying to think, what would it be like to go over the railing? And what would it feel like to fall? And what would it feel like to hit the parking lot? And I am very, very grateful that I did not commit suicide when I was 23 because I was gay. Because it really does get better. It's not just a thing that people say. After that, I was at such a low point that I forced myself to find a counselor, somebody to talk about this with. And after that, things started to look up. I started to share it with my family, and they were very positive. And I found a group at a Catholic church that was very supportive. For the first time in my life, I had beautiful spiritual people who were talking about God is love, and how men loving men or women loving women was a celebration of that love as well. And holy cow, what a wonderful thing that was for me to hear. And I got my first boyfriend from that group, and I started to march in gay pride parades. And today I'm a gay guy in my 40s who has a husband and a house, and we have a dog, and we had a union ceremony that my whole family came to, and I have a very happy life. I'm an author, because if my story can help somebody else feel less alone, or less afraid, or less condemned by God, or by family, or by friends, or by society, or by church, or by even themselves, then that's well worth it to me to have shared that. And if you are struggling today, especially with religious stuff and with feelings for somebody of the same gender, please know it gets better, even for somebody like you. That was something that I never believed. Even if I heard stuff like that when I was a kid, it was always something that I thought that was for other people. It wasn't for me, because I was different, I was special, but in not a way that was good. So please hear today, it does get better. Take care.